De Bruyne's corner. Holland! Goal! It's Mo Salah! It's Mo Salah! Absolutely sensational!
And we're live. Welcome back for another deadline stream, Game Week 6. Good morning, everyone. How are we? I hope you're all well. Wildcarders rise. Wildcarders, please stand up. Yeah, I've activated my wildcard. It's done. No going back. My team needed a shake-up, so I've activated it. I've got Teddy in my lap. Good morning, everyone. How are we? Welcome all to the stream. Lots of love for the intro on today's stream. Appreciate that. Yeah, who's got a chip active? Who's not? Who's saving their chips? Anyone on a triple captain? Anyone on a wild card? Anyone free hitting? So I think it's a bench boost week for most people, but I think there's lots of wild cards, lots of triple captains. Austin Gold, thanks for the 38 months, says, morning all and happy no more Watkins day. Oh mate, honestly, he's absolutely killed me, Watkins. And Rodgers, both of them. Did you guys see he missed a penalty as well in Europa League? Oh, honestly, where's it all gone wrong with Villa? What's happened there? You might just copy Tom Dollymore, to be honest. He's wildcarded as well, you know. Annoyingly, the wildcard, I think, does more or less pick itself in a lot of positions. I mean, you can differentiate in a few areas, like, I don't know, you go Foden instead of someone like Ndai, or maybe instead of Semenyo. You could go Tarkowski instead of Vardiol. I've gone Vardiol. I might not be showing enough love to defensive contributions with this draft. That has crossed my mind. I don't know. What do you guys think now? We're heading into Game Week 6. What do you think of defensive contributions now the dust has settled? Do you think it's a good change? Do you think it's good but overpowered? Or do you think it's just a bad change? Because I was thinking about it last night, and maybe this is a bit of nostalgia, but I was thinking about the glory days of, like, who's played long enough to remember having a back line of, like, Trent, Robertson, Cancelo, James, even, like, Chilwell. Some people had, like, a back five like that. And the meta was, like, completely fullbacks, but now the meta is centre-backs, pretty much. Like, there's a few, like, some people are going, like, Pedro Porro here and there. Some are going, like, Munoz. But they just feel pretty irrelevant, largely, compared to the centre-backs now. Assist gang. Defcon's a great addition. Those were the days, says Luke. I mean, when I got rank 1, I had a back 4 of premium fullbacks. And it was all about getting the assists and goals. Let's do a poll on it. Do you like Defcons? Yes, yes, but could be tweaked, and no. Those are the 3 options. I think that makes sense. I think it's slightly overpowered now. I'm thinking about it more and more. Maybe they should tweak it. Like maybe the threshold should be slightly higher, or maybe it should be 1 point instead. Tuna says Stack or Enzo. No Bruno if I go for Enzo. Xavi and Romero locked. I think Enzo over Bruno is a pretty big sacrifice, so I would say go Stack, Tuna. I really like Dewsbury Hall, and I would have had him, but I don't want to risk him getting a yellow card and ruining the bench boost. Because I'm going to bench boost in Game Week 7 on top of the wildcard now. So that's where I'm at. So I've gone Stack. There's others like, there's Garner from Everton as well, but I think he was playing right back a bit, wasn't he? So yeah, I think Stack's the one. On some set pieces, obviously scored a brilliant free kick last match. My wildcard wasn't working. I had to take a -4 hit to make 5 changes. You can activate your wildcard even after you've taken hits, and it'll wipe the hits. Sonia Lump, morning Oscar, wishing you a good gaming, love you. Mike, thanks for the super chat. R9 on wildcard, and then back to Gyökeres with 2 free transfers, Game Week 7. Is it stupid? Who's R9 in FPL? Who's R9? I know R9 Ronaldo, but who's R9 in FPL? You've got a great voice, thank you very much, Black Glasses. I'm trying to think who R9 is. Oh, Richarlison. I don't hate Richarlison on the wildcard, you know. The next 2 fixtures are unbelievable for Spurs. So I don't dislike Richarlison, but my playstyle is personally aimed to reduce your transfers wherever possible. Like one thing I looked at is Tarkowski over Vardiol, Foden over Semenyo, and then in a week or 2 you go Foden back to Semenyo to target that Burnley fixture. But it's booking in transfers, and I want to just try and roll up to 5 if I can. So for me it's Gyökeres, but I don't dislike the team. Good luck on the wildcard. Thank you, Nicola. Nimleb says, good morning Oscar in chat. Wildcard gang, let's go. What do you think Richarlison for this game week? Oh yeah, so we're just talking about Richarlison for the other question. That's weird you had asked the exact same thing at the same time. Yeah, I don't hate the Richarlison pick. I really don't. I just prefer to aim to roll wherever possible, because stuff can go wrong where you least expect it and you need those transfers. But sometimes that can be, definitely that can be too conservative sometimes to do that. Like, if you want to go a bit more aggressive, then you go for a Foden or a Richarlison, and then just plan a path where you swap them out in a week or 2. But yeah, I don't know. If I was booking in a transfer for Game Week 7, who's got the higher upside for Game Week 6? Surely it's Foden over Richarlison if you're looking for a 1-week punt. And Pep brought him off early in the League Cup. He did start, but he brought him off, and he said something about now he's gonna prepare for Burnley. So with Cherky and Marmouchat, he should start as well. Joseph, thanks for the super chat. When is the right time to bring Isak in? I'm not looking at Isak at all until he's starting loads of games in a row, or maybe if Ekitike gets injured. Otherwise, it's just 10.5 mil for someone that's not nailed. It's just not worth it for me. All right, Ted. Oh. I'm not looking to spend 10.5 mil on a premium that's not even nailed. Like, obviously he's nailed this game because Ekitike's suspended, but after that, especially around Champions League, like, no one can confidently say Isak starts every game. So for me, it's a no-go. I'd rather have Saka than Isak for cheaper as well, or just wait and see if Palmer's an option once he's back from injury. Teddy means a big green arrow this week. There we go. Everyone has been blessed with green arrows from Teddy showing up. He rarely makes an appearance, but when he does, green arrows all round. Thanks for the super chat as well from Bertman. He says, I'm on a wild card and I've got the exact same team, but I like the bench boost in 8. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I think bench boost 7, 8 and 9 are really, really close. And it honestly could go either way. Like Game Week 8, you've got Burnley home to Leeds, so you go Dubravka. You go Dubravka regardless, but you could go Rodon, Gudmundsson, Estev. But you've got Anderson, who plays Arsenal, I believe. You've got Ndai, who plays City. So there's pros and cons. There's trade-offs there if you're doing that. And it comes after an international break. God, I hate international breaks. Between Game Week 7 and 8, it's another break. So there's also that. Sometimes, or more often than not, nothing happens of note over breaks. But sometimes something can happen. It's a player gets injured in your team. And that can also affect your bench boost. So, yeah. I prefer the 7 and just get it out of the way. I mean, it's not awful. I mean, Burnley have got Villa away. It's not like Villa are smashing the goals, but I would expect Dubravka to concede. Sunderland have got Man United away. It's not great either, but Anderson's got Bournemouth and Dye's got Palace. Yeah, Stack's got Spurs. So I think they're even. And when things are even, I just go for the one that's the least risky. Well, in this case, anyway. Pedro unfit and only trained once. Yeah, I did see that. Let me lock in the transfers. I was sitting on a few players at Donnarumma just in case, but I'm not going to keep him. So Donnarumma, Dubravka, Richards, Vardy also. Boom. So it'll be Raya starts there, and I think the rest is correct. Vice captain would be, I suppose, Bruno. That looks about right. Yeah. I mean, those of you that are wildcarding, and still have your bench boost, when are you using it? 7, 8, or 9? Or are you just saving it? I think saving it is the maddest option of all of those. In fact, we could do a poll on that as well. So 63% like Defcons, 27% like it but would like it to see it tweaked, 10% don't like it. So if you're not on a wildcard, you're going to have to sit this poll out. There'll be more polls to come. Game Week 6 wildcarders. When... Hard to type my arm around Teddy. When are you bench boosting? Game Week 7, Game Week 8, Game Week 9, saving it later than that. Let's see what you guys are planning to do. Saving it till AFCON. True, that works, but because obviously we're going to get the 5 free transfers, but then you're spending some of your transfers to set up the bench boost, whereas you could spend no transfers by using it after your wildcard, because your wildcard is unlimited free transfers. That's why I just think 7, 8 or 9 makes the most sense. Oh, missed it. Where'd he go? Brandon, thank you first of all for becoming a member, and secondly, he says Mbumo, Saka and a 5 mil forward, or Bruno 5 mil mid and Gyökeres. Well, I'm on the latter combination, so I think that's way better, personally. Because you've got someone like a Stack, Dewsbury Hall, that I think are way better than Foster, and he's pretty much the only 5 mil forward. I think that's an option. So I looked at all the combinations, and I obviously have the latter combination in my team. So therefore, I would say Bruno 5 mid, Gyökeres, definitely. Anurag says, hi Oscar, got 4 free transfers and 3 mil. Sanchez, Anderson, Poronico, Stev. You're thinking option 1, wildcard. Option 2, Bruno, Watkins and Rogers out for Haaland, Stack and Kudus. Oh, you've got a good team as well. It just doesn't really need a wildcard. And you can get to Salah and Haaland. So this week you're playing Nico, you're playing Porro, you're playing Anderson, Sanchez. Yeah, I don't think you need to wildcard. I think option 2 is right. I think you've got it right there with the second option. I mean, and you end up with Salah and Haaland. I don't think many people are doing that. Yeah, I would go option... Do you spend 3 transfers on that though? Oh, it's such a difficult call that, because 3 transfers is a lot. And this is ultimately the difficult thing, because there's a lot of people wildcarding that have got good teams if they spend 2 or 3 free transfers. Or you wildcard and you keep those transfers, which is almost like having a second wildcard in your pocket. Because you'll roll in Game Week 7, Anurag, and then you're up to 5 transfers. I think this is a really close call, but I think I'd wildcard. Because I also don't really like selling Bruno. I'll probably captain Bruno in Game Week 7 even. So I'm not a big fan of actually selling him. I would consider, yeah, I'd probably wildcard Anurag. Cute dog. It's rare that he shows up to streams nowadays. He used to always show up, so hopefully that means green arrows. Matt says, what's the numbers behind Stack? Why him over Dewsbury Hall, Anderson or Caicedo? So Anderson and Caicedo cost more. I can't afford them. So basically it's like slim pickings in terms of the 5 mils. Dewsbury Hall, I actually like more, but he's on 4 yellows. So if he gets 1 more, then he's suspended. Oh, that reminds me. Let me find it. We just launched a suspension tracker. Hang on, sorry. Oh, where is it? New feature on FPL dot page and the Focal app. We've got a suspension. What do you call it? Suspension tracker. Well, that's what it's called there. What do people normally call it? The suspension tightrope. Anyway, it tracks players, how many yellows they are, how near they are to a ban, and you can choose the threshold. So you could say, I want to include players that are 3 away, which is quite a lot to be fair. Or you might just say, I want players that are 2 away. So that's a new feature. It's completely free on FPL dot page or the FPL Focal app. Link in the description if you want to install it from the app stores. But yeah, anyway, he's 1 yellow away. So, and Stack's on set pieces. He scored a brilliant free kick last match. He's been playing a bit more of an advanced role than he has historically at previous clubs as well. So I think he just makes the most sense in my position, especially given I'm going to bench boost. Tuna says, I was unclear. Xavi instead of Bruno. Xavi's my only punt on a wildcard. Enzo's great for the bench boost. I still wouldn't go without Bruno personally. He's just such a great FPL asset. Like, he's got so many routes to points. Corners, penalties, defcons. So I would rather the Bruno combination still. I think Enzo's a really interesting one. I do like Enzo, and I did consider him over in Dye, and I think that's fine as well in my team setup anyway. But I wouldn't go Bruno over Xavi or whatever, anything like that. I wouldn't go without Bruno. He plays for Man United. You have to put that aside though. Like last season, United had one of their worst seasons, and it must have been their worst season actually. But if you were to factor in defcons last season, Bruno would have got something like 190 points, which shows like how good he is an FPL asset, even when his team's doing terrible. How we doing, British? Good to see you, mate. Mark says, I've got Sanchez. Thanks for the super chat, Mark. He says, I've got Sanchez, Gabriel, Cucurella, Poro, Laqual, Semenyo, Bruno, Salah, Reinders, Gyökeres, Wood, Dubravka, and your benches, Esteve, Sarr. Which Sarr is that, Mark? I saw Palace's Sarr's back in training, and I reckon he probably starts. Gw on the bench, and I want to get in Haaland to triple captain him, so who do I bring in with 3 free transfers? Well, you're going to have to sell Salah to fund that, first of all. You've got Semenyo ready, you've got Reinders. Do you guys think Wood starts this game? Last match, Igor Jesus started in Europa. Got braced, didn't he, in like the first half hour. And then when Postecoglou made subs, he brought on Callum Moendo. He didn't bring Wood on at all. Unused sub. I think he probably still starts in the league, but I do think Wood's probably a no-go now under Postecoglou. But I said in my videos this week, the streets won't forget last season's Chris Wood. But yeah, it looks like he might be a dead FPL asset now. In terms of what I would do here though. Again, it's like, I'd consider the wildcard mark. Because you're going to have to spend at least 2 transfers to get to Haaland. You've got Lacroix facing Liverpool. but you want a triple captain. So I was going to triple captain him. It'd have to be Salah out. And I'm trying to think what you can afford. So you keep Gyökeres, you keep Wood. Do you keep Wood? I'd strongly consider selling Wood, you know, because you can afford more with your Salah replacement. So Wood to Haaland, Salah to who's good for 7 point? Can you afford? I don't think you can quite afford Foden. Can you? If you can afford Foden, go for him. Otherwise, probably Ndiaye, I would say. Home to West Ham. Salah to Ndiaye, Wood to Haaland, triple captain Haaland. I think that's your best combination of moves. Hey Focal, thoughts on Minte or Anthony as alternatives to Stack? Yeah, Minte I like, but I think he wasn't seen in training. So, slightly risky potentially. I've seen some predicted lineups without him in, so I don't know if I'd actually risk it. But I like Minte. I did look at him on the wildcard because I could go. What was it? Minte over Semenyo and then upgrade Mukiele to Tarkowski for a bigger defence. But yeah, I think I'd go Mitoma or no brighter mids right now. Sakif, thanks for the super chat as well. +1 for a team win for all players. Balances DEFCON in defence. Big team attackers are overpriced anyway. It'll improve the game. What are your thoughts? I don't know if that would work. It would be too weighted towards the best teams, I think. Like, one thing DEFCON does have going in its favour is it's balanced towards the weaker teams. It's the opposite to what you're suggesting. Which is why you've got players like Tarkowski that's so good, because they've got clean sheet potential, but they're also like not a top team, so they are having to defend. Like, I've got Vardy and Gabriel, and that could be a mistake on the wildcard because they're not going to hit DEFCON that often. Like, Senesi, I think, is the top scoring defender. That's how potentially badly weighted it is. So maybe it just needs to be nudged up, like 12 for defenders, 15 for mids. I don't know, something like that. Or you keep it as it is now, but it's 1 point instead of 2. Not sure, but definitely it's going to be a conversation that rumbles on the whole season. Because it's quite a significant change. And as I say, fullbacks just feel largely irrelevant right now. I think also it's it's like the fact that in general there aren't that many good FPL defenders. Like, we don't have the likes of the old school Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, James as options in FPL. It's like, but also DEFCON's made it so it's all about the centre backs now. Bear with me, Razan. I'm a bit behind here, sorry. Brian says, I love the content. Do I start Gyökeres or Caicedo? Definitely start Gyökeres. I know he's got Newcastle, but you can't ever bench Gyökeres. Got to be Gyökeres every week. Ash, thank you very much for the 26 months. Says, hi Oscar. Happy wildcard to you. Is Porro starting? Yeah, I was... The thing is, he is a proper fitness monster, so I think he probably does. But he did start midweek, didn't he? Really difficult call, this one. I would say he probably does. We do have predicted lineups on the site now. Let me check what we had for Spurs. Oh, I just noticed I wrote Gameweek 1 predicted lineup. That's annoying. What do we have for Spurs? Yeah, we did have Porro starting, 60 to 74, which is about right. It's just, you can't say for certain. Could be Spence, but I think he probably does. Oh, that's going to bother me if I don't fix that saying Gameweek 1 now. Let me just do that really quick. Gameweek 6 predicted. Can't believe I didn't notice that. Gameweek 6 predicted lineups. Alright, boom, save. Right, Connor says, what do you think of these moves? Kukurea, Isak and Richarlison out to bring in Esteve, Haaland and Muniz. I currently have the triple captain on Haaland. Well, Stev, if he's for like dead last on your bench, fine. But obviously you wouldn't want to start him. Isak to Haaland, Richarlison. Is that your only route to Haaland? Because it's a shame to sell Richarlison when he's got 2 great fixtures. And Moon is a bit ropey for minutes. I think again, in these situations, if you're spending 3 free transfers, it might be better to wildcard and triple captain later. But those moves look fine to me. It's not the best because Cucurella is home to Brighton. That's pretty nice as well. And you're selling Richarlison. But I mean, and you're selling Isak to be fair. But that makes sense if you're going to Haaland. Is there any other forward? I don't think there's any forwards 5.5 mil and under that good for this week. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. If that's your only way to get into Haaland, then yeah, it has to be. I'd change a Stev to like Alderete or Mukiele or Rodon though. I prefer them to a Stev. What's the dog doing? He's missed every deadline. I'm not even sure if he's still playing. Are you still playing, Teddy? Yeah. Razan, thank you for the 32 months. He says, hey Oscar, what do you think about Saka and a wildcard? Yeah, I don't dislike Saka and a wildcard. I did play around with a few Saka drafts. Obviously he's not in pens, but he is back. Probably gets 75 mins this game. Reorganise your team to make it more aesthetically pleasing. How would I do that? So I'd go... Would it be like that? And then... Oh no, I've messed it up. So... Semenyo there, that looks right. Oh, it's just the front 3 that's wrong. So it needs to be... Gyökeres first, like that. And then Haaland. Does anyone else do this with their team? Set it up so it's symmetrical or some kind of pattern. There we go, look at that. That's clean. Look at that. It was meant to be. Yeah, Saka on the wildcard. I don't mind it, you know. I did look at it. And it's like, do you go double Arsenal defence and Gyökeres, or do you go one defender, Saka and Gyökeres? Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike it. I just prefer to spread the money around personally with Bruno and others. I wouldn't go Saka over Gyökeres either. Yeah, I know, I'm working through the super chat. Sorry, I take too long to answer. I probably need to just like give quick answers, but I like to think about the questions. But yeah, that's long story short. Yeah, I like Saka on the wildcard. Gaz says he's on a wildcard. What are the thoughts? He's on Ride, Dubravka, Tarkowski, Senesi, Anderson, Van der Ven, Mukiele, Salah and Dijk, Caicedo, Semenyo, Reinders, João Pedro, Haaland, Foster. Yeah, love it. Great wildcard. So do you still need to bench boost? Is that why you've got Foster? Because I think if I wasn't bench boosting, I'd probably just go Foster down to a 4.4 mil forward. Or even Gw, 4.3. Yeah, really nice team. I wouldn't suggest any changes, really. If I'd already bench boosted, then I would probably line up exactly like that, but maybe a cheaper third forward. But I think that also works as a Gameweek 8 bench boost, which maybe is what you're doing. Meg, FPL Cat Lady, thanks for the super chat. If you had 5.9 mil to spend on the stack position, and you were considering the bench boost next game week, who would you have? Or you just keep the money in the bank with stack? I would consider Minte, who's exactly 5'9". He might not start this game, but to be fair, it's Chelsea, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, it'd be stack or Minte. I don't know if I'd go Caicedo, for example. I think I would keep stack and the money in the bank. It's a really difficult call to make because it's hard to say like what you might need that money for in later weeks. Like, I'm looking at my team and I think it looks great to me, but for all I know, I'm going to want to have Saka in a few weeks' time. Like, in game week 7, home to West Ham. Game week 10, Burnley. Game week 11, Sunderland. So, you just never know when you need that money. So, I'd be tempted to keep it banked and go Stack. I think Stack's great for 5 mil. He might even do similarly to Minte as well, longer term. So I think I would go Stack. Yeah, I'd just stick with Stack. I'm bench boosting Stack in game week 7 myself. Chris says, and die in Senesi or Enzo and Anderson. And die in Senesi. Definitely. Next 2 fixtures are better for Ndai. He's on pens. Senesi and Anderson's pretty 50-50, but I like Senesi more if I was picking one. Mark says, is Sanchez not suspended for this game and it's Palace's Sarr? Sarr's got a really good record against Liverpool, interestingly. But yeah, I think you'd bench him against Liverpool, wouldn't you? No, Sanchez served his suspension in the League Cup, so he's available for selection. HS the Boyo says, yo Oscar, Kudus or Ndoi for the next 2 games? Definitely Kudus. Definitely. Oh, do you mean Ndoi? Sorry, I thought you meant a different player. If you mean Everton's Ndoi, then I'd say Ndoi. Who's the one that plays for Forest? Is he called Ndoi? I thought that was who you meant for a sec. Next 2, I think it's a coin toss between Kudus and Ndoi, but I would say Ndoi if I was picking one. Start Stack versus Leeds. Stack plays for Leeds, or Isidore. I'll start Isidore. Evan Nilsson or Gyökeres? Gyökeres. Yeah, Ndoi plays for Forest. If you mean Ndoi from Forest, definitely Kudus. If you mean Ndoi from Everton, then Ndoi for the next 2. Omar says, best forward 6.5 mil or under for the bench boost for 1 game. 6.5 for 1 game. Let me just pull up the fixtures again. So what are the options here? How much is Richarlison? I think he's over that, isn't he? For 1 game, can't go Evan Nilsson. Thiago's an option, home to Man United. Or Beto, home to West Ham. Maybe Thiago. Yeah, Richarlison's 6'8", so I'm assuming you can't afford him. I'd probably say for 1 game, Thiago, home to Man United. Yeah, I think it'd have to be Thiago from Brentford. Class of 23, thank you very much for becoming a FPL Focal member as well. Thank you very much for that, class of 23. Would you choose Gabriel or Calafiori? Gabriel. You reckon double Arsenal might be a mistake? The fixtures are just so good though. So good. Oh, there's got to be loads of clean sheets in there. Like from game week 7, West Ham, Fulham, Palace, Burnley, Sunderland, Spurs. I think double was alright. What could end up a mistake is the fact that it blocks Saka. Like, let's say we get to game week 11 and I want to get Saka. I'm going to have to sell Gabriel or Gyökeres. I probably wouldn't sell a keeper. Maybe I would. That could be the mistake. Like, I could go Tarkowski instead of Gabriel and leave the 3rd slot open. That's possible. But it could also be possible that I want Palmer if he's back in game week 8 after the break. I won't buy him that week, but game week 9 I think it is, he's got Sunderland home. So I could just do that instead of Saka. No Spurs defenders, I know. I think Spurs defence is still great. Romero's great for what, 5 mil, 5-1. Van der Ven, 4.7 is great. I just think Senesi and Anderson, they rotate so nicely. And then Vardy or Gabriel set and forget. I just think that makes sense. Yeah, nothing wrong with single Arsenal defence. Rai Gabriel or Saliba Gabriel? I looked at those combinations as well, because I could go Donnarumma, Gabriel, Saliba, or Raya, Gabriel, Vardio, and I just ended up going for what you see here. So my answer would be Raya and Gabriel, and then Vardio, and it's a bit cheaper as well. What's your keyboard name? It sounds so good. I actually don't know what it is. It was an Amazon purchase. It wasn't even that expensive. Oh, AULA. Aula. It's an Aula keyboard. Eze instead of Gyökeres? No, I don't think it can be Eze or Gyökeres. I think Eze's... I mean, Eze's great, but quite a downgrade. White keyboard, unique. You know what? I've got like... My PC's white. I've got like a few white... My mouse is white. AirPod's white. I've got a little remote here as well to turn the lights on and off. But anyway, I just ordered a new desk, and that's white as well. And it's like an electric desk, you know, like where you can raise it and lower it. So in theory, I'll be able to stand while I'm working. While I'm even streaming, I could just stand. Apparently it's meant to be good for you. It's like good for your circulation and stuff, because I do sit on my ass like a lot. So I've just ordered that, and I've also ordered a new PC, because the one I've got now I've had for 10 years, and I built it 10 years ago, and sometimes it just randomly shuts itself down. So if I just suddenly disappear and the stream goes off, that's why, because it's just shut itself off. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but sometimes it does. But it's happening too often now, so I've ordered a new PC. £4,100 that set me back. But, as I say, it's long overdue because I've had that one for 10 years. And it's going to be an absolute beast for the streams in the future and for making videos. And I think now that my job is literally making videos, I think I had to finally treat myself to a proper PC. But hopefully I can expense it for work. BHWXM says start Minte or Saliba this week. I would go Saliba this week, just in case Minte doesn't start. And even if he does, he's got Chelsea. Harry, thanks for the super chat as well. I didn't see what it said before it was retracted. Hopefully it wasn't abuse. Thank you, Harry. That is correct. Sitting compresses your spine. Standing is better if you hold back. Standing desks are great. It was a Herman Miller desk as well, and they do the best ones supposedly. So yeah, that's good, because I do sit a lot, maybe too much for what I do nowadays. Shivang says Gameweek 6 and I've used all 4 chips, wish me luck. All 4 already? What's your rank, Shivang? You must be doing well with all 4 chips used. I've just done my first one now, the Wildcard. I'll bench boost Gameweek 7. Not sure about the free hit and triple captain yet. So, Gameweek 6 Wildcard is when are you bench boosting? 28% Gameweek 7, 28% Gameweek 8, 11% Gameweek 9, 33% are saving it later than that. Vignesh, thanks very much for the super chat as well. Yeah, I think it's called the Jarvis desk. Let me check that. Yeah, the Jarvis standing desk. Proper expensive as well, but I think given I literally sit all day, it's a worthy expense. Oscar, do you remember last season Haaland versus Southampton? Oh mate, don't remind me. That still haunts me. Luckily I ended up doing alright in the end that season, but I can't believe he came away with 6 points when he registered, what was it, like 2.2 XG or something? My desk is a hand-me-down from my brother. I mean, this one like is... It's alright, but it's not got much space. I can't properly fit underneath it. Saka or Gyökeres? If I had to pick one, Gyökeres. Luke says, thoughts on Van der Ven over Anderson and Richarlison over Gyökeres? It just feels like the fixtures swing better for Spurs. It's the defender combinations for me, like the rotations, and I think I don't actually know too much about the Spurs rotations without looking, but Bournemouth and Fulham rotate really nice. Where are they? Bournemouth, talk about rotation. So I just clear these out to bring Fulham up. Oh, what have I done? Bournemouth there. What have I done here? Oh, there they are. Remove West Ham, Sunderland. Spurs, take Newcastle out. Sorry, I'm trying to get... there we go. So like, if you look at the rotation there, you've got Leeds this week. Game week 7, you could play Senesi again. Senesi there. Senesi there. Anderson there. Anderson there. Anderson there. Probably keeps going as well, like that. Yeah. Sunderland. You can see how long they rotate nicely together. So I just think it's such a great pairing. It just goes on and on and on. You can see like how good Senesi and Anderson fit together. Let me bring Spurs back. Maybe there's a rotation I've missed there though. Where's Spurs? Oh, interesting. Spurs and Bournemouth. So let's have a look. So you go either or there or both. Yeah, I mean, that's a nice rotation as well, actually. Basically, Senesi and Anderson are just way better for defensive contributions as well. That's the other thing to keep in mind. Van der Ven's not, historically. He's never been great for DCs. So that's also a factor. And that's ultimately why I went for those two. Richarlison over Gyökeres. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier in the stream, Luke. Like, the fixtures are better for the next two for Spurs. But I'm not a big fan of booking in transfers like that. Maybe Richarlison's just better set and forget longer term, but Arsenal's fixtures from Game Week 7 are unbelievable. So I prefer Gyökeres, but I think Richarlison's alright as well, depending on what that spare money gets you elsewhere. You know, if that's like going from Dewsbury Hall to Bruno, then like maybe that is a better combination, Bruno and Richarlison over Dewsbury Hall and Gyökeres, for example. It's all about the combinations, obviously very different prices. Callum says, Wildcard, I don't fancy Salah. Who's the best options for 5-9? Minte. Will Donnarumma get save points this season or just go for who gets the most clean sheets? I mean, he's got the potential to do both, like most clean sheets and saves. Sorry, most clean sheets, not saves. Yeah, I think Raya and Donnarumma if you want a premium keeper. Otherwise, you go all the way down to like a Petrovic. I've gone Raya, but I think Donnarumma's good as well. Because this is it, like when you wildcard, you're going to have your keeper potentially for like the next, I don't know, 20 game weeks it could be. So you actually have to think extremely long term. And I think Donnarumma could be a really nice long term keeper. And I did look at that combination, because if I went Donnarumma, Gabriel, Saliba, I could then sacrifice Saliba to free up Saka. Whereas I'm not so keen on selling Gabriel if I want to free up Saka. I don't want to sell Gyökeres either. But yeah, I would say just go for a premium on the wildcard. Raya or Donnarumma. You don't fancy Stack? Yeah, Minte's good for 5-9. I think he's probably your best one. You could obviously go for like a Caicedo and just go for the defensive contributions, but I like Minte. Just don't start him this week, if you can. How much money have you got in the bank? 0.3 million with this draft. Akil says, what do you think of this? Raya, Timber, Tarkowski, Senesi, Foden, Eze, Bruno and Dye, Semenyo, Richarlison, Haaland, Grealish has good upside as well. Is this a wildcard team? Yeah, I mean, it's a great team. I did look at Timber, and it's like he's definitely got the most upside of the Arsenal defenders, I would say. Most explosive pick. I think he got like 2 goals, 1 assist and a clean sheet, didn't he, against Leeds? Something like that. But does he play every single game long term? How are we doing, Skip? Does Timber play every single game? I didn't want to take the chance, so I went Gabriel in the end. But I think Timber's really good. Yeah, other than that, really nice. Don't really have any changes to suggest. I really like the Foden pick. Looks good to go. My Omar says, Oscar, wildcard, Tarkowski and Romero, or Vardio and Van der Ven Anderson. I think I'd actually rather Tarkowski. I think Vardio and Anderson, if you've got him paired with Senesi on the wildcard, if that makes sense, because the Senesi and Anderson rotation is just so nice, very long term. Like, that's the theory. Vardio and Gabriel set and forget, and then Senesi and Anderson rotate into the 11, and then Mukiele's there just in case, worst case scenario. I prefer Vardio and Anderson, that's why I've got that combination, if you have Senesi as well, which I'm guessing you might. Anus, thanks very much for the super chat, and Mark as well, he says, who should I start between Leclerc, Esteve and Sarr, or make another transfer? Out of those, I would start Sarr. Don't need to make another transfer. I would just start Sarr. Mukiele or Alderete? So Alderete is like the nailed centre back. He'll play every game in theory in left centre back. Mukiele's been playing in right centre back, and he's been unbelievable. Like, Sunderland fans will say he's been their best defender. He wasn't in the game in Gameweek 1 because he signed a bit later. Ballard got injured. Mukiele came in, and he's played in the Champions League last season for Leverkusen. He's played for PSG, other teams. Like, he's not joined Sunderland from that to be on their bench, and he's got 14 defensive contributions per 90. So I've gone for him. But the gamble is, does Mukiele play centre back still with Reinildo suspended? Now, Reinildo's out for 3 games. So there's a few options now. It could be Masuaku comes in at left back and the rest stays the same. Or it could be Hume goes from right back to left back where he's played before. But that means then someone has to come in at right back, and Mukiele is also right back. He plays right back pretty much as centre back in his career. So it's a bit up in the air. Alderete is the safe, sensible one, but won't get as many DCs. Unless Mukiele moves to right back, in which case Alderete probably will get more DCs than him. We launched a little filters feature on the statistics widget here, and you can go like defenders, defcon per 90, and then obviously that's going to include players that have been coming off the bench and got loads in like 2 minutes. So you can go, I don't know, like start. So like they've started 90% of games. Or maybe, sorry, we'll go like 3 starts. And there he is. 14 DCs per 90. Senesi second, 13.2 per 90. Tarkowski's on 12.2 per 90. Van Dijk 12 per 90, Anderson. So like you can see the value in the likes of Senesi and Anderson. Alderete's up there as well, 10.8 per 90 for him. But yeah, Mukiele's played 3 games and he's hit defcon in all 3. But Alderete, as I say, is the safe and sensible option. That's decent, I can't lie. I know, we're adding new stuff all the time, so it's quite cool. We've got like a little player filter, player photo toggle as well. Just added that. There's even a percentage thing, so you could say like he's in the top, I don't know, you could say someone's in the top 90% for expected goals or whatever, something like that. Anyway, yeah, the loads to play around with there. Another feature we've added on the Focal app and FPL page. We'll do a giveaway actually. I'll give away some premium memberships in a minute. So Sam says, is it worth looking at Saka as a differential instead of Bruno on the wildcard if you've got the funds? I prefer Bruno over Saka if I was picking one, but I think Saka's a really, really nice differential right now. He's in barely any active teams. So I think Saka's really nice as a differential if you're looking for the maximum upside swing. But I think Bruno, I think I'm going to captain Bruno in Game Week 7 for Sunderland home, honestly. So I prefer Bruno, but Saka's nice. And Gyökeres is on pens, so that's the other thing with Saka. He costs more and he's not even on pens. So you need some open play returns. I mean, Saka will be on corners on the right side. That's about it. Morning, Oscar and chat. Good luck. Morning, James. Good luck. And Boomo, yeah. Triple captain poll. All right, let's do one. Is your triple captain active? So we go yes, saving it, used it already. Poll is up. Get your votes in. Let's have a look at the most transferred players. Wow, Haaland, 1.3 million new owners. Senesi's second. Semenyo, Reinders, Richarlison, Donnarumma. By the way, how are you meant to say Donnarumma? I keep getting comments saying, I wish you'd learn to say his name. I didn't realise I was saying it wrong. Is it not Donnarumma? Or Donnarumma? Or is it difficult to type how you pronounce it? Bruno, Isak. Wow, 411,000 have bought Isak. And Dye, Gyökeres, Foden, Kudus, Grealish. Who's the most sold then? Ekitike, 937,000. And then Palmer, Salah, Vert, Sanchez, Watkins, Wood, Gakpo. Donnarumma. Ruma. Oh, okay, Donnarumma. Okay, I was saying Rama. Donnarumma. Yeah, almost 1 million have sold Ekitike. Donnarumma. Donnarumma. Zelda says, I'm on my way to the tune. Cheeky not out before the game. Good luck. Oh, nice. You're actually going to... Who are they playing today? Oh, Arsenal, of course. Wow, huge game. Enjoy the game. Do a giveaway. Alright, we'll do a giveaway. If anyone's not got the Focal app, it's FPL Focal in the App Store, or you can access it in your browser on your phone or PC, fpl.page. Loads of stuff like bonus points, live rank checker, fixture ticker, clean sheet odds, goal scorer odds, price changes, articles. I actually need to update this as well because the latest number is 200 and... Let me verify. It's like 280 something thousand managers use it. 200. Let me check. 286,000 managers use it now, which is insane. And we're going to give away premium membership. Lots of the stuff on there is completely free, but we've got some premium features as well. Like you can customize the layout, you can change the theme, extra bonus features. So I'm going to give away. I'm going to put a code on the screen. You enter that on the app and it will redeem free premium membership for the entire season. If you miss out and you want to support, it's only like 58p per week. Alright, the code is Gameweek 6 with no space. So make sure you enter that fast. Whoever gets it first. And I'll just check that they're gone. Gameweek 6 without a space is the code. One claim so far. Only one claimed. Keep going. I'll flick back over. Gameweek 6 is a code that gets you free membership for the entire season. Congrats to those that get it. Oh, where do you enter it? Sorry, I probably should have explained that. On the top left, there's like a thing where it says subscribe, and that's where you go to become a member. And then, like you're going to check out, but you don't actually check out because it's free, you enter the code there. don't think I can show you here because I'm already logged in as a member. But you just go to subscribe, like top left corner. Or on the app, it's like the top of the homepage. That was the code. They might be gone already, I'm not sure. Gameweek 6. Wilco says, Caicedo or Anthony as an 8th attacker and a wildcard. You're planning on bench boosting Gameweek 9. I would go Stack as the 8th attacker. I know he's like very template in lots of teams, but I think for 5 mil he's perfectly fine. And in Gameweek, oh, who's he got in Gameweek 9? Sorry, I thought you said 8. Gameweek 9 he's got, yeah, West Ham home. I would go Stack. I probably wouldn't go Caicedo or Anthony, even though Anthony, to be fair, is doing really well. Caicedo is great for Defcons. Caicedo's attack and returns aren't going to carry on at the same rate, so also keep that in mind. I'd probably just go Stack, honestly, save the money. Yeah, the codes are all gone now. Congrats, whoever got them. Dave says, thoughts on this free hit? He's gone Pickford, Vardy, Tarkowski, Romero, Bruno, Foden, Semenyo, Enzo, and Dai, Haaland, and João Pedro. I think the mids look better this week. I'd actually probably go without João Pedro on a free hit, just based on Maresca's comments about he only trained for the first time on Thursday, I think he said. These are the goal scorer odds on the app, and Richarlison's second top, so I would rather go Richarlison on a free hit. I feel like I'd probably go Reinders as well and just go triple attack on a free hit. Shout out to my mate Ollie Stonehouse, tuned into the stream as well. Love you, Ollie. I'd go triple City attack. I'd go Reinders, Foden, and Haaland on a free hit. And I'd go Richarlison over João Pedro. I probably wouldn't risk Wood. I mean, for goal involvement, Haaland's top, then it's Richarlison, Salah. I don't think I'd go Salah, it just eats up too much funds. Bruno, yeah, you've got him. I would get Reinders in there. Probably over Enzo. But yeah, it's a really nice free hit, to be fair. Very like subtle changes. Clean sheet odds this week and projected goals are as follows: City 50%, Forest 40%, Spurs 38%, Everton 38%, Arsenal 34%, Man City 2.7 projected goals, Tottenham in second with 2, Chelsea and Everton on 1.9, Liverpool 1.8. Shout out to Harry and Ian Stonehouse as well. Mfon says, what do you think of this? Henderson, Senesi, Van der Ven, Van Dijk, Kudus, Xavi, Semenyo, Foden, Gyökeres, João Pedro and Haaland captain. So you're not on a chip, so you're thinking about bench boosting or triple captain him. If I wasn't on a chip this week and I had Haaland, I would be triple captain Haaland. Like, look at the projected points this week. He's just miles ahead. He's on 7.9, home to Burnley. I would use it if I wasn't on a chip and I had the triple captain this week. I wouldn't bench Cucurella though. Who would you bench here? Probably Van der Ven. I'd rather start Cucurella over Van der Ven. Is this not a wildcard team? Because obviously you can't use 2 chips in 1 week. Speaking of, Ollie, the guy I just mentioned, he wildcarded and he was like, I'm going to triple captain Haaland this week. And he didn't know that you can't use 2 in 1 week. So if anyone's like thinking about wildcarding to triple captain Haaland, you can't do that. Imagine if you could use multiple chips in 1 week. How good would that be? You just wildcard straight into the bench boost. That's why some people did the Gameweek 1 bench boost, because it's technically a wildcard into a bench boost. But it's a little bit risky because the lineups can be unpredictable in Gameweek 1. Yeah, I'd start Cucurella over Van der Ven. But nice team. I wouldn't change anything else. I'll triple captain Haaland. And Rayo says, I posted my team in the community wall. What's your opinion? What's the community wall? On Discord? I don't normally do teams on Discord, so if anyone else was thinking of doing that, please don't, because it's a bit messy to go on Discord and find it. Where did you post it? What's the community wall? On YouTube? Oh, is that new feature? Let's, okay, I won't do this normally, but I'll make an exception. Where is it? What is the community wall? I don't even know how to find it. I'm really sorry. I don't know where the community wall is. I think that's that new thing YouTube launched where people can post on my channel. I'm not sure where to find that though. I'm really sorry. I'm looking right now and I don't see it here. Yeah, I don't know. Feel free to like DM me your team before next deadline or something and I'll help you that way and just say it's radio here. Nick says Gabriel, Virgil, Senesi, Rodon, Alderete or Gabriel, Tarkowski, Senesi, Anderson, Alderete. You've played the bench boost. Are you saying you already played it in the previous week, Nick? Because if you've played it this week, the bench is irrelevant. I would say very close, but I would say the second combination is better. Yeah, I'd say I'd go with the second one. I wouldn't be comfortable taking 2 4-mil defenders long term. Provide more premium promos. I'll do more like every future game week, but I can't give too many away. Warren says, why not Ruben over Vardy? Save money and his minutes not more secure? No, I think Vardy is as secure, if not more. I'd say more actually. Would you agree if you're a City fan? I would say more secure. He can play left centre back, he can play left back. And with Ruben, he probably starts the same amount of games, but there is competition there. So I would say I like Vardy on more. And I'd say he's more goal threat as well. So it's worth the difference, in my opinion. Adadan, thank you for the 12 months, the 1 year. And he says, João Pedro and Anderson, or Richarlison and Enzo, or Calvert-Lewin and Cunha on a wildcard. You're planning to bench boost 7, free hit 8. That's quite close if it's Anderson, because Anderson I'm not a massive fan of. Nice fixture this week, but I just don't rate him long term. I'd probably go João Pedro and stack, you know, and just have the 0.5 mil banked. When are you going to bench boost? Game week 7. Game week 7 I'm bench boosting. Let me just message Miss Focal to say Teddy wants to go out. Where did I get to? Sorry. So, yeah, I'd go João Pedro stack. Very, very close. I think Richarlison's nice as well. We've been talking about him a lot in the stream, but I'd rather João Pedro stack than Richarlison, Enzo, or Calvert-Lewin and Cunha. I mean, Calvert-Lewin and Cunha is by far the weakest of those combinations, in my opinion. Why free hit 8? If you're on a wildcard now. I feel like if you're on a wildcard now, you save the free hit. Do you call her Mrs. Focal? I don't know. I don't call her that. Stevie Boy says, Game Week 7 versus Game Week 8 wildcard. I have no Arsenal, but the team looks okay. If the team looks okay, there's nothing wrong with saving it. It's really team dependent, the wildcard. Like, my team had like Rodgers, Watkins. It didn't have Haaland. It didn't have any Arsenal defence. It didn't have João Pedro, it didn't have Semenyo. There was just so much I wanted to change that it made sense to me. Plus there was like the price changes that were going to come over the course of the week, so I activated it back on Saturday. But Game Week 8's nice as well. Gameweek 7. I've not thought too much about 7 versus 8, but 7 does come before an international break. There is that. 7, I'd probably go 7 if you've got no Arsenal, because they've got West Ham home. That's like the starting point for Arsenal's amazing fixture run. What's the noise in the background? That might be Teddy scratching. Let me just let him out. Go on then. Go. Right, we're an hour into the stream. Thank you all for being here, by the way. If you're enjoying the stream, do hit subscribe. The button below. It's completely free to subscribe. Mfon says, I'm not on a wildcard team, but the bench looks so good. But thank you, Oscar. I really need a green arrow this week. Oh, you got a great team then if you're not on a wildcard. Looks good. Just scrolling up to double check what you asked about. I've lost it now. Oh. Yeah, that was it. So you triple captain or bench boost. I would... triple captain. Close call that, but I would triple captain, yeah. I think there's lots of upcoming weeks that look similarly good for the bench boost, but that you can't say the same about the triple captain. So logically, triple captain this week, save the bench boost. Right, where did I get to? It was Mac who says start Gabriel and Saliba or bench one for Romero this game week. I'd bench Saliba for Romero, yeah. Struggling with this game says, hi Oscar, joining the stream late. What would a Salah and Haaland draft look like for you? And what's the hype around Bruno and Gyökeres? I've not even entertained a Salah Haaland draft, if I'm honest, because I just think it eats up way too much budget. You'd have to sacrifice some players like... You couldn't go Gyökeres. I think you'd have to go like Richarlison or something like that. I don't think there's a way to do it that's like satisfying, especially if you need to bench boost still as well. You'd have to lose Gabriel, you know, you'd have to go like Van de Ven. I'm not even sure if there's a good way to do it. I'd want to have Bruno, that's the thing. You'd have to go no João Pedro potentially as well. Like, you know, it'd have to be this sort of thing like Dewsbury Hall. Something like that. I just don't like it as much, personally. I just think there's too many sacrifices you're making there to have both on a wildcard. That's 0.4 mil short as well, so even then it's not quite right. It's just too many sacrifices. Maybe you'd have to lose João Pedro as well. You can see here, like when I'm trying to play around with it, it just doesn't work, in my opinion, for a well-rounded team. You're just completely betting on Salah doing well as well, which he's not so far. Like if Salah was on last season's form, yeah, fine. But he's not so far. So that's a massive risk and big trade-offs. Frederick says, would you choose the same team if you had 4 or 5 free transfers after the wildcard? What do you mean? Yeah, it would be the same team. I mean, maybe I'd like lose Vardy because then I missed the Burnley fixture, but I don't think I really would change much. Maybe I'd lose and die as well because then you miss the West Ham game, but it'd be basically the same, yeah. Ross says, would you rather Pope or Stack or Raya and King? Depends if you need to bench boost still, and if King is last on your bench or not, because I prefer Raya over Pope. King versus Stack is close. I'd probably go Pope and Stack, honestly. Yeah, Pope and Stack. As long as you've got an Arsenal defender, that would be the ideal setup. If you've got Gabriel, then fine. Ojako says, I've got the same team as you, except I went with Tarkowski over Mukiele. I can't get to Semenyo. What's the best 6 mil midfielder alternative? I would say Minte, but don't start him this week because I think he wasn't spotted training. I'd say Minte, yeah. Boomtown, thank you very much for becoming a member as well. Appreciate you, Boomtown. I just got a DM from a massive YouTuber. What the hell? I don't think I'll name drop them, but... Wow. They said, should I triple captain Haaland? I said, yeah, I would do it. Stein says, Romero, Minte, or Vardy, Tarkowski plus a 5 mil mid. Bench boost gaming 8. Hang on. Vardy or Tarkowski in a 5 mil mid. Bench boost gaming 8. Yeah, definitely the second option, but I don't quite follow the combinations there. Oh, I see. But I don't know who the other... Oh, okay, got it now. Vardy or Tarkowski in a 5 mil. So I'm on the second setup. I'm on Vardy on stack. I would go with that. Tarkowski's, I'd say, equally good with Vardy. But both are fine. I've gone Vardy. Specifically, Vague says, Morning Oscar, how do you rate Liverpool's chances this week? Do I start Van Dijk and Gakpo? Or bench for Anderson and Dewsbury-Hall? I'm on a Haaland triple captain. Nah, you've got to start them both. I definitely wouldn't bench Van Dijk or Gakpo. Ekatike's out as well, so Gakpo in theory should be slightly better for expected mins as well. So I'd go Van Dijk, Gakpo and bench the other two. Is Timber okay? Yeah. Ayamide says, midfielder to buy long term, cheaper than Reinders. Stack or Dewsbury-Hall? That's pretty much it. Caicedo, I guess, so I think he might be the same price. I'd say stack just because Dewsbury-Hall is on 4 yellows. Archie says play 2 out of Tarkowski, Saliba and Anderson, Kudus, Caicedo. So you start Kudus and I would start Tarkowski. And then it'd be Caicedo, Saliba, Anderson, bench in that order. Rosa says Foden and Rodon or Ndiaye and a better 5th defender. Yeah, I did look at those combinations and I preferred Ndiaye and Vardy. I don't know if you can stretch that far, but I decided I did really look at this because Foden home to Burnley, like, it's a sort of game it just wouldn't surprise you if he bags a hat-trick. But I preferred Vardy because if I go Foden, I'll probably sell him after 2 or 3 game weeks. Whereas if I go Vardy, in theory I'll keep him very long term, so I preferred the Vardy path. Matt says, would you take a chance on Packers as a 6 mil mid? Oh, just West Ham are shocking right now, aren't they? I just probably wouldn't go there. I'd rather Minte if I was spending that sort of money. I think he's 5'9", he's actually dropped. You copied my team, Oscar. Let's be honest, the wildcards look so similar this week. And I hate that, but I do think it largely picks itself in a lot of positions. I think there's going to be a lot of complaining after the deadline about how template the wildcard is, but I think people will forget about it in like 2 or 3 weeks once everyone starts going down different paths. Like some people are going to end up pivoting to Palmer if he's back for Sunderland, some are going to end up going to Saka, some might go in a completely different direction, but yeah, it's really template, which I hate to say because I don't know, I don't like it when there's such a strong template, but I do think the wildcard in a lot of positions picks itself. No music, can you not hear it? Is that not coming through? I've turned it up a bit. It should be coming through. It's quite quiet this part of the song though. This is the one that I made, which was a remix of Bicep Glue. No. Yeah, Glue. Is it? I've forgotten what it's called, but it's Bicep. Right. Where did I get to here? It was Amy's question. Wildcard active, 0.4 mil on the bank, same team except Van der Ven for Anderson, Rodon for Mukiele. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, it's much of a muchness. Van der Ven versus Anderson. Van der Ven isn't as good for defensive contributions, basically, so I went Anderson, but both are great. Rodon versus Mukiele, same. It's like both are much of a muchness. Mukiele could move to right back, and then he won't be as good for DCs. I think Alderete is great. Goodmanson's good. I probably wouldn't go Burnley defence. I wouldn't go Esteve. Luke says, plans for the triple captain. I'm a Sunderland fan, so I can't bet against them, especially with our form so far. Looking good for an alt fixture. Yeah, I don't know yet. It could be Parma when they play you guys home. Or has Haaland got one more promoted team home? Yeah, game week 13, Haaland's got Leeds home. Could go there. Or could go 15 when he's got Sunderland home. I probably will wait until around then, because that's also when I think Salah's got Sunderland home. So there's a few options around those weeks. There's still West Ham. Yeah, of course. Or you could go for West Ham or Wolves home if any of the premiums play them, which some do. Yeah, I'm not ruling that out either. EF says, best strategy for the wildcard and bench boost if I triple captain this game week. Also, if I wildcard next week, who's a good 1 week punt for Parma? 1 week punt for Parma, Foden. I would consider, depends on your team, again it's really hard to say about knowing your team. I'd consider wildcard in game week 7, bench boost 8. Because you've got Burnley home to Leeds in game week 8, so Dubravka's like perfect to bench boost then. And you could go Rodon as your other 4 mil defender. You could go Stack from Leeds. I think that's what I would do. 3 chips in 3 weeks. Huge. Sakif says, 3 picks in your team that you're most likely to regret. I hope I don't regret any of them. I think I don't have the balls to go against João Pedro and Semenyo, but I don't think they're worth their price tags. I'll say that. I don't. It sounds mad because he's doing well. I just don't think João Pedro is 7.8 mil value and Semenyo 7.7 mil. Like, it just wouldn't surprise me if Kluivert starts soon, Semenyo's off pens, and Semenyo was really patchy last season. He's not going to keep this form, I think. I don't think he's going to keep sustaining the current output. So it could be one of those, like Semenyo suddenly drops off and I regret him, because that's a massive opportunity. And I'm not taking João Pedro's ownership on right now either, because there is the potential for me to be wrong about that. I should have gone with him from game week 1. That was a mistake in hindsight. Although obviously before game week 1, Delap wasn't injured, so that led me to think maybe I won't go João Pedro because the minutes might not be good enough. But that's not how it played out. I can tell you're an Arsenal fan with a disrespect on João Pedro. I mean, last season he scored like 5 non-penalty goals the whole season. And he was like such an unbelievably frustrating pick. Like last season there was that week where everyone went João Pedro and I went Strand Larsen, and Strand Larsen ended up the significantly better choice. I know he's at a better team and all that, and he could even be on pens, so there is that factor now as well, which wasn't a factor before when Palm was around. Is the music not coming through? Because it's well loud in my ears. I have to turn it down a bit, I think. How are we doing, Ludovici? Good to see loads of members in the chat, by the way. Cal, Tropical, Ludovici, Nat the One. Thank you for becoming a member as well. But yeah, I don't know. He's just, it's very expensive for João Pedro, but I don't want to be wrong about him, and he could be on pens until Palmer's back. It's too loud. Okay. Dr. Jeet says Mukiele or Alderete and planning to bench boost game week 8. Alderete is basically nailed for centre back. Mukiele has been better for defensive contributions, but the Reinildo red card might have a knock-on effect where Hume goes left back, Mukiele goes right back, which will make him worse for DCs. But I've stuck with Mukiele. He's on long throws as well. He nearly got an assist off one last week. Alderete is a bit more safe and sensible. Mukiele's got the potential to be better if he plays centre back. Too low. He's taking the piss. Let me turn it back up. There we go. Alright, hopefully that's perfect now. But yeah, both are great. Abdelaziz says Donnarumma, Tarkowski, Saka or Raya, Vardy or Bruno. Well, I'm on the latter combination, so you know what my answer is going to be. Raya, Vardy or Bruno, I prefer. I think the first one's great as well. They're both brilliant combinations, but I prefer the second one. Lucidus, thanks for the 27 months. Says GG Oscar, I'm thinking of Salah, Haaland, Wildcard. Any tips? We were trying to do a Haaland Salah wildcard just now, and it's like so hard. That's what we ended up with, and even then it was slightly too short on budget. So I just couldn't find a way to do it that I'm happy with. So personally, I think it's not worth it. There's too many sacrifices. Like I've lost Gyökeres there, I've lost Bruno there. Who else did we lose? Semenyo. Too many sacrifices. FPL Gw6 says, I'm also on a wildcard, virtually the same squad, and I've got Isak, Kudus, Enzo, where you've got Gyökeres, Bruno and Ndai. Bench is basically the same as well, but I've got Alderete over Mukiele and Juve and Anderson. Bench boost in Gameweek 8. What's the thinking with Juve? I mean, West Ham's defence has been shocking. I know he's like an attacking fullback, but these DEFCONs have made it all about the centre backs in FPL now. I just don't see the appeal in fullbacks anymore. Like, there's very few exceptions, isn't there now? Like Pedro Porro and Munoz, potentially, but I just don't see Juve being worth it unless you literally don't have the extra 0.2 mil or whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, Isak, he will start obviously because Ekatike is suspended, but long term, is he now to start every game? I want the answer to that to be yes if I'm spending 10.5 million on him. So I prefer Gyökeres, Bruno and Ndai personally, but I could be wrong. Like, I hope Isak does well for you because that's a differential basically. Fresca says Richarlison or João Pedro. I've personally gone João Pedro. I think he's probably going to take the next penalty while Palmer's not around. Brighton home, nice fix. I mean, Richarlison's got great fixtures as well, to be fair, but I prefer João Pedro. Rescott said something interesting about how he only trained for the first time on Thursday. So I suppose he's not 100% nailed to start. There is that, but you have to make a really difficult call on his minutes there, and I just personally would just play it safe with João Pedro myself. Ross says, I've got Pope, Dubravka, Gabriel, Senesi, Gudmundsson, Van de Ven, or you're going bench boost 8. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I mean, looks brilliant. I'll probably go Rodon over Gudmundsson just because of DEFCONs, but really nice team. Looks perfectly set up for the bench boost. Looks good to go, Ross. I wouldn't change anything. Nice team. Yash says Palmer to Foden or Ndai. Bench Anderson, Fulham, Gyökeres, Gabriel, Van de Ven, Xavi or Foden / Ndai Reinders. I would go to Foden if I was selling Palmer. Ndai's nice as well, but I just think Foden is right there if you're selling Palmer. Bench Anderson. Yeah, I'd bench Anderson. Van de Ven, Xavi. Yeah, bench Anderson. So Gyökeres, what are you asking here? Gyökeres, Gabriel, Van de Ven, Xavi. Or Foden and Ndai Reinders. Gyökeres, Gabriel, Van de Ven, Xavi or Foden and Ndai Reinders. Don't think I'll follow this question. It's different positions. I don't think I understand the question. You've got Van de Ven in there, but the second combination doesn't have a defender. I don't understand the second bit. Sorry, Ash. Ruben says, start 3 of Gabriel, Senesi, Virgil, Romero. I would start... I would bench Gabriel, actually. Yeah, in this setup, I'd bench Gabriel. Got to start Romero. Got to start Senesi against Leeds. Van Dijk's got Palace. Gabriel's got Newcastle. Oh, it's very close. I'd bench Gabriel. FPL Mikkel, thanks for the 42 months. He says, wildcard or triple captain? 2 for each transfers, and they need a -4 for Haaland and Senesi. Now, if you're looking at a -4 for Haaland, I would wildcard Mikkel. Triple captain later. Now, the one, thanks for the 5 months. Thoughts on O'Reilly as a 1 week pump? For 1 week, yeah, fine, but is it worth spending a transfer in defence for 1 week? Probably not. I just brought him into my draft team. If anyone plays draft, I've got O'Reilly on that, but probably wouldn't transfer him in for 1 week. If that's before a wild card, unless you have no choice but have to spend a transfer in defence, then yeah, O'Reilly's fine. He should start left back. Salah says, 0.1 mil short. If I keep Gabriel, I need to find a mid at 4.9 to keep my current mid stack and change Gabriel to Saliba or someone else. What's your advice? Is there anywhere else you could free up the money? Let's think. I think it'd probably just be Saliba. I think stack down to a 4.9 is quite a bigger upgrade than Gabriel to Saliba. Sorry, bigger downgrade. I would just go Gabriel to Saliba. Stack down to a 4.9 is too big a sacrifice in comparison. Jose, thanks very much for the super chat. And JH says, I'll use your wildcard team, but I'm minus 0.6 mil. What do I change? Minus 0.6 mil. You could go Kudus over Semenyo. That works nice. Romero or Dorete Anderson, who you benching? I would bench Dorete. Yeah, maybe Kudus over Semenyo is what you do then if you're 0.6 mil short. Saka says top 3 to 5 players you want not currently in your team. Foden would be number 1. Tarkowski number 2. Kudus number 3. That's probably it. There might be someone I'm not thinking of, but those are the 3 that were very close to making it into the wildcard. It's a good question, actually. Because obviously every week I'll put the team up here and it's like, here's the wildcard, this is it. But actually it's not as simple as the 15. There's lots of players that were very close to making it in. And those 3 were very close. Nick says, Romero or Chalobah, Foden or Mbumo? I would say... I'd say Romero, and I would say Foden. Saka or Fernandes? Fernandes. Right. Scout selection. Let us know how many players you've got from the team. This week, it's Vicario, Vardiol, Tarkowski, Senesi, Bruno, Foden, Semenyo, Grealish, Haaland, João Pedro, and Richarlison. Let us know how many players you got. So, I've got Vardiol, Senesi, Bruno, Semenyo, Haaland and João. I've got 6 this week. That's good because last week I had like 2, I think, and I had a horrible week. So 65% are saving the triple captain, 32% have got it active, 3% have used it already. 4, 5, 3, 6, 3, 3, 4, 7. 7, you must be on a free hit. Is Haaland going to be over 200% effective ownership this week? Yeah, probably will be. Probably will be. What do you guys think his EO will be? Guesses in the chat. I reckon he'll be just over. Maybe like 210%. If anyone's wondering what EO is, it factors in captaincy and triple captaincy. Because let's say you own Haaland, that means he's 100% owned for you. If you captain him, then he's 200% owned because his points are doubled. But people out there are triple captaining him. So that means he could have over 200% effective ownership. And that means even if Haaland's your captain, you lose rank for every point he gets. 192. Oh, you don't reckon 200? 180? 185? So basically on the wildcard we pray for a Haaland blank. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Follow-up question then. Who's going to be king of the game week? You can't say Haaland. I'm banning Haaland as an answer. It was Stack last week. No one got Stack. 15 points he got. Who do you think was going to be king of the game week this week? I'll go... Probably be Gakpo now I've sold him. I'll say Gakpo. Foden, Kudus. Isak's a good shout, Tom. Kudus. A lot of people are saying Kudus. Mbumo, Foden. Kudus, Reinders, Voltemada. Lewis Potter. Would you play the triple captain? Yeah, if I had Haaland, I would triple captain him if I wasn't on a chip. But I'm on a wildcard, so I can't. Toffolo. The streets will never forget Toffolo. Nick says, how's the bench and wildcard team? It's Raya, Gabriel, Tarkowski, Senesi, Xavi, Dubravka, You're benching Gyökeres. I would start Gyökeres over Gabriel. Other than that, it looks good. I'll start Tarkowski, Senesi. Oh, sorry, that's a back three. I can't bench Gyökeres. Oh, I really wouldn't be benching Gyökeres though. But I see what you've gone for Xavi Simons though. Who's got a nice fixture. I wouldn't bench Semenyo and die. Ah, something's got to give here. Honestly, I think I'd rather start Gyökeres over Xavi Simons. Is that Arsenal bias or would you guys agree with that? But then it's like, why'd you pick Xavi Simons then? That's the problem. I think it's fine as is, but I don't like benching Gyökeres at all. Still Watkins. Oh mate, if it's Watkins, king of the game week, I'm retiring. Taran says, is Van de Ven a good option for under 5 mil? Yeah, I think he's great. I think obviously Senesi and Anderson have become kind of like the template picks. Because Van de Ven's got good fixtures the next two, but he's just not as good for defensive contributions. Whereas Senesi and Anderson are that sweet spot where there's clean sheet potential, plus they're likely to get you DCs. I was saying earlier, we added like this little filter feature here. So if you go like defenders and go like defcons per 90, obviously you don't want the players that have played like 20 minutes and that's it. So if we go, I don't know, say they've started at least 3, boom. Senesi 13.2 per 90. In fact, we'll go equal to as well. That's why I've got Mukiele in. 14 per 90 defcons. He's hit it every game. Senesi's hit it every game. Tarkowski has. Van Dijk, Anderson, Alderete. So you can kind of build a picture here of which players are really good for defcons. And I don't see... I mean, where's Van de Ven? Is he even on this list? No. Maybe if I go Spurs... Spurs defenders. 5.54 per 90. I just think Defcon is so powerful now that I'd rather go Senesi or Anderson in a nutshell. Anyway, that's a new thing we just added on the Focal app and FPL page if you're interested. Captaincy this week then. We've got Haaland on 5 stars. Bruno, Foden and Salah on 2. Reinders on 1. Let's do a captain poll, shall we? I think it's going to be maybe the most one-sided poll of the season, but maybe not. Let's do it. Who is your captain? So we'll go... I guess it's just Haaland and Salah. Is there anyone else? Haaland, Salah and other. Poll is up. Jonathan says, Senesi, Van de Ven, Enzo, Grealish, bench Munoz and Anderson. I'd bench Munoz, yeah. And this week I'd probably bench Anderson as well, just because of the fixture for Van de Ven. Yeah, I think you got it right there, Jonathan. Your triple captain Haaland this week. Yeah, we'll do a triple captain poll as well, in fact, but we'll start with captaincy. Your keyboard is very ASMR friendly. I can type really fast. Should I do a typing test? It's been a while since I did one of those. Potter's sacked, is he? Wow, is that true? Has that just been reported? Don't know. Not seeing it anywhere. Is that a wind up? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Potter just got sacked. Wow. What, did West Ham tweet it? Let me find it. West Ham haven't even tweeted it. Where's that come from? Graham Potter. Oh, wow. Wait, what? Is there a reliable source? Oh, New York Times. Wow. Potter sacked after 8 months in charge. Oh, it's a paywall. Can't even put that one up. Mate, these face swap memes. What the hell is that one? What am I looking at here? Who is that? Anyway. Yeah, Potter's been sacked. Live on air. Hopefully it doesn't affect and die. Hopefully it doesn't motivate the players to suddenly show up. It's on Sky Sports. Fabrizio's tweeted it as well. Has he? Club website, GG. Okay, so Potter's sacked. Wow. Hate to see it. I mean, I'm sticking with and die still. They're going to be... I don't know, who's going to be in charge then? Is it the assistant? They won't have a new manager in this quickly. It'll be next game week, won't it? Or after the break, maybe. Ten Hag to West Ham? Surely not. The memes got him in the end. Did you see someone asked him about it in the press conference? They were like, have you seen the memes with the face swaps? And he was like, I have seen it, yes. My 15-year-old thought it was hilarious. My captain has been tripled. West Ham have tweeted it. Oh, okay, there we go. Anyway, where did I get to here? It was Lars who said Munoz or Gabriel, Grealish or Gakpo. I would say Gabriel over Munoz, definitely. And I'd say Grealish over Gakpo, if that's who to start. If it's like a wildcard or a transfer, I wouldn't buy... Oh, would I? No, I probably wouldn't buy Grealish because he can't play in Game Week 8. Unless you can bench him that week anyway, then it's alright. Struggling with this game says, thoughts on Foden, Kudus from Richarlison. Foden, love him. Kudus, I think he's a really good option as well. Richarlison, I think he's nice for the next 2 game weeks as well, but I'd rather João Pedro, Gyökeres, Haaland, but it's team dependent, I suppose. I think all 3 are great options. Those are like the few players that basically were close to making it into my wildcard but didn't quite make it in. Foden's great. I'd love to have Foden this game week. Your captain and Bruno. Club statement, Graham Potter. We're reacting live to the news. West Ham can confirm that head coach Graham Potter has left the club. Results and performances over the course of the second half of the season and the start of the 25-26 season have not matched expectations, and the board of directors believe that a change is necessary in order to help the team's position in the Premier League as soon as possible. So Bruno Salter... Oh wow, loads of the staff have left as well. And they're trying to find a replacement. So I wonder who's going to be in charge for the Everton game. Yeah, so West Ham have tweeted it as well now. Fair play. Not surprising at all, to be honest, on the performances. Right. Where did I get to here? It was struggling. No, sorry. Dave said, Reece James free hit punt. Oh, nah. I probably wouldn't do that. It's not terrible, but I'd rather Cucurella. It's not the same Reece James that, you know, like past managerial eras was bombing down the right, massive goal threat. Like, he inverts into midfield often now, so he's not the same option that he used to be. Cucurella is the one if you want an attacking Chelsea defender. Kvaz says, Focal stream. I need to send a chat. Bench 1 out of Anderson, Senesi, Tarkowski, Virgil, Caicedo and Voltemada. I've got Raya in goal, Voltemada benched at the moment. Yeah, I'd actually agree with that. I think I would agree with that. It's Caicedo versus Voltemada, and I'd actually probably bench Voltemada against Arsenal. Abdullah says, Virgil or Milenkovic, and my goalkeeper is Sells. Isn't Milenkovic injured? Or is he okay now? I would say start Milenkovic for that fixture. I mean, what's the odds saying? Forest 40%. Where's Liverpool? 31. Yeah, I would say Milenkovic unless he's flagged. I thought he was flagged, but I might be mistaken. But he probably plays or doesn't play at all, even if he is injured. So yeah, Milenkovic. Start Van de Ven or Watkins? It has to be Watkins. But yeah, based on how this season's going so far, I wouldn't have high expectations. But it has to be Watkins, definitely. Home to Fulham, right? FPL Hazard says Saka and Donnarumma / Foden and Raya on the wild card. Money stays in the bank for Palmer. I would say Raya and Foden, and then you sell Foden after like the next 3 game weeks. It's a close one, that, honestly. But I'd say Foden's better for the next 3. That Air, thanks for the 9 months. He says start 2 out of Van Dijk, Gabriel, Gyökeres and Caicedo. Start Gyökeres, and yeah, I think Arsenal and Liverpool about the same clean sheet odds. So I think you flip a coin there, and I'd probably say start Van Dijk just for the DCs. SD says bench 1 out of Rodgers, Watkins and Gibbs White. Rodgers. Scythe Gamer, thanks for the 2 months, says, do I get Foden instead of Gakpo? I've got Reinders. I would, yeah. I think Foden and Reinders is perfectly fine. I think triple attack is fine for the next 3 game weeks, honestly. I nearly went there on my wildcard. Oliver Hatton says, hi mate, bench 1, Xavi, Eze, Mateta and Gyökeres. You're benching Eze at the moment. Yes, Eze or Mateta. I would say you've got it just about right there. Yeah, I'd bench Eze. Right, keep your questions coming. We've got just under 20 minutes till the deadline. Thank you all for being there. Do hit like on the stream if you're enjoying it. Hit subscribe as well. Burn or Anderson? Isak or Gyökeres? Semenyo or Foden? Oh, Semenyo if I had to pick one, but Foden's better for the next 3, but I'd say Semenyo just about longer term. Foden is a potential transfer out waiting to happen in like 2-3 game weeks. Get Isak on the wildcard or Gyökeres. Go Gyökeres, I would say, on the wildcard, yeah. Van de Ven or Gabriel. I'd say Van de Ven. Better clean sheet odds by quite a bit. And Dye or Caicedo. And Dye. Cunha overlooked? Potentially, but I think if I was ranking the United mids right now, it'd be Bruno and then Mbeumo and then Cunha. Tarkowski or Vardiol? 50-50 that one. Flip a coin. I went Vardiol. JT, would you triple captain Haaland with everyone captaining him? Does it now make the chip somewhat pointless on him? Barely any gain. Strand Larsen, hashtag Strand Larsen and Focal. What ultimately matters is points, JT, not the ownership. It's better to triple captain Haaland now, and everyone's got him. Let's say Haaland gets 15 points, and you triple captain him, and everybody else has also done the same. That's better than triple captaining Salah, and he gets 14 points, and half the game did something else. Ultimately, points are what matter. I understand what you're trying to say, but fundamentally, it's just points that matter, even if everyone's doing the same thing. But I understand what you mean. There's like the potential for going against the grain to come off higher and you gain more, but ultimately, just do what you think gets you the most points. And if I had to triple captain, well, I do have it. If I wasn't on a chip, I would triple captain Haaland this week. Sir says, I've got 4 defenders. Which 3 do I play? He's got Gabriel, Vardy, Tarkowski and Senesi. I would bench Gabriel out of those 4. And then set and forget, start Gabriel. Joe D says, should I start Gakpo or Wood? Oh, tricky one, because Igor Jesus started in Europa, got a brace. And Wood didn't even come on when he made changes. It was Callum Mwendo. But he's got such a good fixture, Wood, that I think he might start in the league. I think I'd probably start Wood. I think he'll come off early and start. Maybe he plays like 70 minutes, but I would say Wood just about. Very close though. Steven says, exact money, Anthony or Stack? Wildcard same as you. I think Stack's... I think I'd go Stack. I'm not a massive fan of 5.5 mil on the promoted team's mid, honestly, so I'd say Stack. I understand the question though, because Anthony's done really well. Funny story. You guys have probably seen, I've got this page on the site, right, which tracks footballers' FPL teams. And one of those it was tracking was Jaden Anthony. And I got a DM from, what was his, it was like the head of public relations at Burnley Football Club. Sent me a private DM saying, hello, I noticed that you're tracking Anthony on your website. Please note he's no longer playing FPL, so please remove him. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. What's happened to his team? And Anthony's team was deactivated, so I think I accidentally got Anthony in trouble. Because in his FPL team, he like benched his teammates and stuff. And I tweeted about it. I think he captained, what was it, like Salah against Burnley or something. Anyway, some Burnley member of staff DM'd about it. So I'm sorry, Anthony, if you're watching, if they made you take your team down. But yeah, Stack. Sophie says, Foden and Foster or Caicedo and Richarlison. Julian, I'd go Foden there. Please don't spam in chat. Foden and Foster or Caicedo and Richarlison. Such a close one, this. First of all, it depends on if you need to use Foster, because Foster would not be comfortable playing basically any week besides, like, is it game week 8? He's got Leeds home. So, if you don't need to use him, I'd say the Foden combination I like more. Because Man City's next 3 are just so nice that Foden looks unbelievable as an option. And Marmish and Cherky are still out as well. So I would say the first option, but it's so close because Richarlison has got a nice fixture. Caicedo I'm still not that keen on for 5-6 or whatever he is. Oh, it's really close, that one. I think the second one's just a bit more nicely rounded long term. That's why it's so difficult. Because Foster's like, I just wouldn't want to ever play him. And if you're going like if you're on a wild card, then I don't even know why you go Foster unless you're bench boosting. I'd rather just go for Gw and save the money and play a 3-5-2. So it's hard to say about knowing if you're bench boosting or not, or what the plan is there. If you still need to bench boost, I would say the second option, otherwise the first one. Where did I go? Foot Mike says, wildcard team is very similar to yours. Do you think maybe captaining Semenyo is the move? Or do we just captain Haaland to minimise triple captain damage? No, again, same thing. Like, you just go with who you think's the best. Even if everyone's doing it, if you think it's the best, do not overthink it, because that can definitely cost you more points in FPL when you start trying to be clever and go against what everyone's doing. There's a reason everyone's captained Haaland that own him anyway. Because he's home to Burnley, and his stats are so ridiculously good this season. His XG alone is better than half the Premier League teams have got as an entire total as a team. That's how good his XG's been so far. Mohammed says, Semenyo, Kudus, Reinders, Pedro, Wood, Bruno, who to bench? How many do you need to bench? Yeah, it's two. I think I'd have to bench Wood in this scenario, because the rest have got amazing fixtures as well, and they will start. Wood probably does, but just in case, bench Wood. Right, I think I'll have to stop super chats because I need to catch up with them. So no more. Sorry, thank you all for the super chats, but I'll have to pause them because I need to answer this and post my team. Taran says, I've got Anderson and Senesi. Who else would be the best under 5 mil mid? 5 mil defender. I think if you've got 4 proper starting defenders, as your 5th one, just go down to a 4 mil. Alderete, Mukiele, Rodon, one of those. Van der Ven's alright. Maybe Richards if you don't need him for a while. That's about it. Leander says, does Vardo have safe minutes and my Newcastle defence? I just couldn't fit a Newcastle defence in, basically. I wanted those defenders more. If I had more money, I'd probably consider Burn or Livramento. Vardy should be safe. He was rested midweek. He can play left centre-back or left-back. He's quite versatile in that sense. And he can play left centre back if it's a back 3 as well, depending on how Pep sets up. So I think he should be safe, yeah. Let me just tweak my team. Screenshot that. Post team. Right, there we go. Game week 6. Wildcard active. Publish. Right, let's flick back over. Right, it was, who was the question? It was So. He says, I'm so confused. Vardy and Dye or Richards and Mbeumo. I've already got Ryan, Tarkowski, Gabriel, Senesi, Alderete, Bruno Semenyo. I think Vardy and Dye is infinitely better than Richards and Mbeumo. I don't think that one's even close. I know Mbeumo's underlying data has been pretty good, but Richards of Vardy was a big upgrade on Richards, and I think Ndiaye versus Mbeumo is fairly close. The next two are great for Ndiaye as well. Yeah, I'd go Vardy and Ndiaye. Mohammed says Semenyo, Kudus, Reinders. I might not have a chance to answer all these. I'll rattle through. Semenyo, Kudus, Reinders, João Pedro, Wood. Who to bench? Of all of those, Wood. Hang on, there's another one. Who should I bench? Semenyo, Kudus, Reinders, João Pedro, Wood, Bruno, Foden. Who to bench? Out of all of those, I would say Wood. Yeah. Nick Frame says, why Gabriel over Calafiori? Just for nailedness, Nick. Like, if Calafiori and Timber are nailed, they're better, but they might not be. Oh, let me just set Teddy. He's barking. Come on then. Why? Yeah, it's just for the nailedness. Like, if I knew that Calafiori or Timber were starting every game, I'd pick them, but I don't know that for sure, so that's why. Do I keep Saar or buy Reinders? Buy Reinders. You've got 7 minutes. Reinders is a massive upgrade over Tottenham's Saar. Jack White says Foden, Tarkowski or Gabriel Semenyo. I would say Gabriel Semenyo, but that's so close. This week, Foden Tarkowski looks better. Long term, Gabriel Semenyo, I think just about. Very, very close that one. First time seeing the dog. Oblivious says, plans to get an Arsenal forward later, if so, how? Well, I've got Gyökeres. Do you mean a mid? I couldn't tell you how to get one later of your team without seeing the whole team, but yeah, you'd have to sacrifice someone somewhere. Because Gyökeres is, what is he, the third most expensive forward? Potter sacked, yeah, I just seen that. Mad. You meant the mid. Yeah, if I was going to do that, I'd have to sell Gabriel. So it'd have to be, I don't know who I'd sell, honestly. João Pedro and Semenyo. And Gabriel using 3 transfers. Or I just go to Palmer for Sunderland home in Game Week 9. So 91% Haaland captain, 5% Salah, 4% other. Is your triple captain active? Yes, used already. Using later. Poll is up. So that's me. That's my wildcard locked in. Done. No changes. Oh, Tom's thinking about starting Anderson over Gabriel. I'll be interested to see what his wildcard's like. Any leaks? Oh, I've not even looked actually. Let's take a quick look. It's such a non-stop stream. Really good stream. Really enjoyed this one. Let's have a look. Leaks. Haaland starts from Lazy FPL. I guess I'll quickly quote tweet that. And a quick graphic there. That's about it for leaks. By the looks of it, just Haaland starts. Oh, we can update the old leaks tracker though. That's something we can do. Not done that for a while. Oh yeah, let me check if my Liverpool guy sent me anything. No, nothing. Whoa, 4,000 tuned in. Thank you all for being here. Hope you have enjoyed the stream. If you're just showing up last minute, then that's my wildcard on your screen. Before you all disappear in the next 3 minutes, make sure you subscribe. It's completely free. Let me answer these last few questions. Anand says, bench one, mate. Munoz or Juve? I would bench Munoz against Liverpool, honestly. I just can't imagine them keeping a clean sheet against Liverpool, but I've been wrong before. Need song requests. The problem is I have to use copyright-free music, so it massively limits what I can play. I'd start Juve, and maybe we'll see a response from West Ham after the Potter sacking. D. Doyd says, would you start Van der Ven, Tarkowski or Gabriel? I'd start Tarkowski, yeah, definitely. Vardiel or Gabriel? If I had to pick one for the long term, Gabriel. For the next 3 weeks, Vardiel's better. In a nutshell. Xavi Simons or Kudus? Oh, I'd probably go Kudus just about. Juve is one of the best hammered players since the beginning of the season. Kudus versus Ndai. I've gone and die. Very close, but I went and die on the wildcard. He's on pens, so he's got that going for him. We'll have to see how the West Ham game goes now with no Potter in charge. Could be looking at Bowen on a new manager bounce soon. I still can't believe they reclassified him to forward. Such a shame. I mean, he's not totally gone as an option, but even if West Ham were in form, it did make his prospects look worse. Why Mukiele over Alderete? It's just the potential for him to be playing. If he plays centre back, Mukiele will be better for Defcons. If he doesn't, he will be worse. I'm just taking a chance on that. Especially longer term. Like, they're both nailed, Mukiele and Alderete. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Reinildo suspension. It could be Masuaku just comes straight in and it stays the same. Or it could be Hume moves across to left back and then Mukiele goes right back, because he can play both positions. Or maybe Gertruda comes in at right back. There's a few ways it could go. But that's me locked in on the wildcard. Mario Vardy, Gabriel Senesi, and Dai Reinders, Bruno Semenyo, João Pedro Haaland, Gyökeres, Dubravka, Stack, Anderson, Mukiele. You've probably seen this draft a lot. I hate how template the wildcard is. I mean, I think there's a few players that are slightly different, but it's pretty template. I don't like that, but I think a lot of the team picks itself, to be honest. Like, Arsenal's fixture is about to get amazing, so you have to buy defence. Senesi and Anderson have been incredible, have to get them. Vardy, I've not seen in as many drafts, in fairness. Bruno, I just still think he's great. João Pedro, got to have him, probably on pens. Haaland's in, obviously. Gyökeres. Reinders for that cheap. I was going to go Dewsbury Hall instead of Stack, and then he picked up that 4th yellow. So now I can't risk it on the bench boost. So Simon says, hey Oscar, only dilemma this week, Munoz or Timber. You've missed the deadline, Simon, but I would have gone Timber. Raid? Yeah, let's have a look if there's anyone to raid. Who's live? Who should we raid? Any suggestions? Let's see. Oh, FPL Gallagher's live.
I did nothing. Maybe I did.
He's such a legend, this guy. We met for the first time at Fest recently, and he's so down to earth. The nicest guy ever. Head over to him and spam Focal Raid in his chat. Andy does not need our help with a raid. Let's go to Gallagher. Honestly, he's such a lovely, down-to-earth guy. We had a really good time hanging out at Fest, drinking beers, chatting FPL, chatting football. Head over there, spam Focal Raid in his chat. He's come top 1.5k 3 times as well, so he's a really good FPL manager. So I'll see you over there. Good luck this gaming, everyone. Thank you as always. That is it from me. Focal out.